Okay, so welcome everyone. We're having our ProfitMAX Entrepreneurs Night. We call it a bridging night. So this is the online meeting we have every month, once a month. And every time we do it, we have a guest speaker, usually from within our membership. And tonight we're going to talk about IT. So this gentleman, whom I'm going to introduce in a little while, has been in the IT industry, I think, for many years. He was actually one of my early clients. This is probably going back 15 years or more ago. And well, since then he has grown leaps and bounds. He's also gone to overseas countries. So he's also gone to Manila and Singapore and so on. So he's expanded. And we're very pleased to hear from him tonight. So I called tonight's topic the 7 secrets of scaling up your business, because that's what he's done. He's scaled up his business. And let's find out some secrets from him, but not any theoretical, not just the theoretical part, but actually what he has done and implemented. No. So let's welcome Lip Sin. Hi, Lip Sin.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Peter. And hi, everyone. Thanks for having me to share some of my experience. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe to start, Lip Sin, maybe you could tell us a bit about your background, fill in the gaps that I missed out. How did you get started in IT?
Well,
maybe even before that, what were you doing before you started your business?
Okay, yeah, I'm 55 years old. I went to school in Singapore. I was an electrical engineer by training from NUS. I started my career in HP in 1992, and then moved on to Motorola, and then my last corporate job was with LHS, and I left the corporate world in just before the turn of millennium. So I joined this later company SRKK in about year 2000, which I founded in 1997 together with a friend of mine. So we formed the company in 1997, but I was still working with Motorola at that time, and then I joined the company after, about I think 2 or 3 years after that. Yeah, because in my last job I was flying a lot. Like, I think I was living on my luggage most of the time, and after sometimes I realized that my kids will call me uncle if I continue to do that. So I decided to quit that LHS job and join SRKK. Yeah. So that's how I begin, being an engineer with a lot of technology background, being exposed to how the MNC operate, seeing a lot of IT or technology in actions. And when I come back to Malaysia, I see that things are quite a lot of opportunity to sort of improve. And especially at that time, it was the beginning era of this multimedia super corridor. So I thought that could be a good time to take the plunge. And so I left my corporate world job in the turn of the century. I thought, this is a good millennium kind of new start for me.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the .com year 2000, when everyone was talking about Y2K and all that, is it?
Yeah. Just before Y2K, we were very busy in Motorola, in LHS, to help people to upgrade a lot of software. So yeah, so I've been through this kind of major technologies work. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe, Lip Sin, you could give people a bit of an idea. First of all, give people a bit of idea what SRKK was all about when in the early days. And then secondly, what were the early challenges that you faced? What were some challenges you had to face, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. Well, SRKK, we have been around since 1997. So we started with just 2 people. It started with a friend of mine, my classmate in NTU from Singapore. He's a Malaysian. At that time, because of MSc, because of jarring, and so he come and visit me. And he say, if I'm interested to start up a IT company with him, and I say, okay, each of us put in 50,000, And so we did. And we find a name that is quite close to jarring. So we use rangkaian rather than jarring. So SRKK stands for System Rangkaian Computer Komunikasi.
I see.
So that's how we started with the name SRKK, and so we started in Klang because that's where I come from, and that's where
The
I
home
thought,
base.
yeah, something like that. So yeah, I started with 2 people in Klang, just selling PCs and IT peripherals in near Klang towns. But actually we went quite far, as into Cyberjaya, Putrajaya, to sell to some of this construction site. At that time, Putrajaya, Cyberjaya was still under construction, so we were able to sell to some of this construction company in Cyberjaya. Yeah. So then, when I joined, we have about 4 or 5 people, I think. Yeah, I think I'm the fifth employees. Yeah, and so because I was in the world of the principal, I used to manage reseller or distributor. When I used to work for Motorola and LHS, my main role was managing distributor or partners or system integrators. So I understand how the relationship between what the principal want, and how the distributor behaves. So because of that, when I joined SRKK, what I did is I tried to establish more of this kind of strategic relationship with the distributor, and then trying to touch base with people like in HP and things like that. So forming this kind of strategic partnership with the technologies brand owner, I think is one of the key success factor of how we sort of grow ourselves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously everybody knows that IT industry is very vital, and is one of the sectors or industries that was able to move forward and grow despite the pandemic, no? But I also understand that the IT industry is also very, very price competitive.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate yourself in that kind of very price competitive situation market?
Well, I think it's good to be price competitive, because then that means there are enough of people who is out there competing, and then you have to make yourself better. So how we compete? I guess I don't really compete, but I just focus on what I know how to do best. Just be our own, and just do what is necessary to overcome the challenges. But I guess the main challenge in the growing up is there's a few things. At the beginning, when we first started, it is the challenge is customer acquisition. We would never have enough customers. So the most critical scaling up challenge was customer acquisition. And then when you have a bit of business already, then I think most of us will realize that we run out of cash. We don't have enough money, to either to pay supplier or to grow, to pay even salary at times. So so that's the second major scaling up challenge. The third challenge, once you have sort of enough clients, you have cash flow is a bit stable, you realize that you have a lot of people, or quite a few people already, and the challenge is to retain them. Basically, being in the knowledge business, you need with the only asset that we have is basically people. And myself, I'm not a technical guy. I mean, I was an engineer, but I chose not to be technical for a long time. So I don't involve in the technical part of the business, and I I also pull myself out from doing sales as well. So employee retention become the key challenge of scaling up, because you see, I don't do sales, I don't do technical, what do I do? So I need to make sure all the people can do, sales, and they can do business. So with employee retention become the third most important scaling up challenge. Yeah, and then when these trees are sort of being able to balance in a way, and then finding the opportunity to continue to grow, so that the employees that stay with you do have a growth path as well, become very important.
Okay.
So sustainable growth become very, very key in order to scale up. Yeah. So these are the four challenge. First started with customer acquisition. Second, cash flow, and then once this customer acquisition have a bit, then the employee retention, and then if the employees stay with you, the next biggest challenge is to how to continually grow at the rate that is satisfying to the aspiration of the employees.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the four main scaling up challenge. And yeah.
How long was that period of growth? This period of struggling through customer acquisition and getting your cash flow stable, and then your team, your people development, people retention. How many years did that take?
I don't know
what period? Few years?
I wouldn't be able to put a like timestamp on when, but I guess this is an ongoing process. Yeah, but how I sort of transition from one stage to another, it is through leveraging on the knowledge that I've learned throughout my career, being an entrepreneur. So as you were saying, I started being coached by you. And before that, I was also, hire other coaches to sort of help me to understand, the mechanics of business. When I used to work for a large enterprise, in the large enterprise, really, you only know how to do a very specialized part of the, you are only very specialized in a certain area of the business. So you don't know many things. So when I first start with in SRKK, a lot of things are, I mean, I didn't even see an invoice. I don't even know what is a DO. So there are so many things that I don't know. So being able to get some coaching was very important and was very helpful. So I feel give me a lot of learning on how to do leads and conversion rate, how to improve on the leads and conversion rates. Okay. And then then the cash flow. Yeah, I think mastery of cash and all this. So tightening of cash collection process, measuring and all this, and building the trusting supplier relationship so that supplier allow us to have a longer time to pay. Yeah, so that part is how we manage all these cash flows. And employee retentions, I spend quite a bit of time understanding this kind of personality, mastery of this personality, like PAEI or DISC. Yeah, and then through the coaching experience, I also learned a lot about creating a missions, core values. Yeah, so not just to give everybody in the company a personality, in the company. So that's how I work on this employee retention.
Okay.
Yeah, and
would it be
sustainable.
Would it be fair, Lip Sin, I guess, to say that the growth or scaling up wasn't a straight line? but it was like up, down, up, down, up, down, but a general trend was going up, but it wasn't like a smooth straight line kind of thing, right?
Well, yeah, it's never straight line. It is always like grow for 2 years, stagnant for 3 years, and then during the time when it's stagnant, um, then we have to find ways
Consolidate lah.
to push the next growth.
Yeah.
So yeah, so in my experience, it's always like growing 2-3 years, stagnant for 2-3 years. Luckily, it's not like declining but stagnant, and then during the stagnations, we have to find another ways to grow.
Break through to the next level.
Yeah, so that's why, you know, I often, you know, sometimes you know, I remember when I used to coach by you, then after that I joined with Stage. Then after that I pick up this scaling up methodologies, scaling up coach. Yeah, so yeah, just to sort of help me to feel the growth. Yeah.
Okay. So your journey has been a lot of learning and implementing what you learn, huh?
Yeah, basically I'm a book guy.
Yeah.
I'm a book guy, so I just like in the last 3-4 years, I pick up this book, Scaling Up, and then I just implement everything that is in the Scaling Up, from, you know, how we do strategic business plan, to how we conduct our weekly, the quarterly business review meeting, to monthly meetings, to weekly check-in, to daily huddle meetings.
Yes.
And then to use of labor efficiency ratio to measure the efficiency of the business, and so on and so forth. So everything that the Scaling Up says, we try to use to the fullest. And basically that's me now. I always use the books to run the business, rather than, because, you know, I have no experience of doing business, so all I have is to learn from these experts.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I was under the action coach, I remember you give me the book from Brad Sugar, and I read cover to cover, and I just try to use everything that I learned from there, and from you, and from Larry Lee before. Larry Lee was, I attended Larry Lee's group coachings before I sort of hire you as my one-to-one coach. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you're one of those guys who is able to assimilate knowledge a lot from books written by good authors, and then put them into implementation and execution. Because a lot of people can't bridge that, no? A lot of people can't bridge what they read and learn into execution. So you have I guess you have the tenacity, the skills to do that, to implement what you read and put it into action, and to structure it in a way that will fit your organization.
Yeah, I guess that's, I mean, maybe because I don't have wisdom, I'm not smart enough to to invent it myself. So I just have to copy from the expert.
Okay. Yeah. You're just being too humble, Lip Sin.
That's true. It's really true.
Okay. All right. So moving along, so you were telling us about how you scale up and so on. How would you say, okay, what over the last 20 years, were there one or two, what do you call, standout milestones that you recall, and how important is the role of technology in your growth journey,
Wait, the first part is you said how I stand out. What do you mean?
No, one or two milestones that stand out over the last 20 years in business.
Oh, the stand-up milestone. I guess one of the major milestone that we sort of achieved was to go on to join the cloud bandwagon at the very early stage. We were always playing catching up. We were always playing catching up, you know, in the IT world, and we were never, like, you know, leading in any way or anyhow. But this, when Microsoft decided to go cloud, I remember I was in the I was in this I think, if I'm not mistaken, in LA, together with a friend, with my colleagues. So we were two of us were attending this Microsoft conference, and after listening to Steve Ballmer, we decided to let's jump all in with Microsoft to go cloud. So when we decided to do that, and then we count, we sort of do some rough calculation of how this subscription business will work out for us. So after tabulating it, we realized that, wow, if we consistently acquire a lot of new account over the years, we will have a sizable, we will accumulate a sizable pool of recurring business. So I think that was the defining moment, defining years. That was 7-8 years ago. And the good thing is, good thing for us, at that time, many of the very established company like us are not following what the Microsoft is sort of preaching. So everybody still choose to do their old ways of selling a lot of big server, big software, and at a very high price. But we start to do very small projects, doing this subscription basis. Every month collect $8 from every user. So while a lot of people, those very established ones, stay where they are very good at, which we were trying to compete, but we were finding hard. This cloud opportunity allows us to sort of move away from these big competitors, and we sort of are able to chart our way. Yeah. So I think that's a good defining moment for us. And I think after working very hard for 2-3 years, I think then we got a Malaysia Microsoft Cloud Partner of the Year or something to that effect. Yeah. So that, I think that was a good defining moment for us.
Okay, great, excellent. So you took advantage of the moving to cloud as one of the early guys.
Yeah.
Then you managed to get yourself and become a partner of Microsoft, and that was a defining moment, huh?
Well, we have been a partner of Microsoft for years. It's just that we were just another one partner who is who works hard and who is a reliable partner. But we were not in no way like a leading partners. Yeah. But being in the cloud is make us like one of the blue eye boy of Microsoft in those days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Tariq was still in Microsoft that time in KL, right?
Yeah.
And he was, I think, working very well with you guys.
Yeah, Tariq was one of our big supporter. Yeah, it's because of Tariq that we get a lot of opportunities. Yeah, it's through all these people in the industry that help us along. Yeah, Tariq is definitely one of them. Yeah.
Okay, great. So Lip Sin, I understand you ventured into Singapore and Vietnam.
Yeah.
Tell us about going overseas. Any challenges there, or what are the advantages and all that, and any plans to go beyond?
Singapore is my natural choice. I mean, I go to school in Singapore.
There, right?
Yeah. So, so it is. Well, actually, I went to Singapore a long time ago in year 2008 to start this business because I got an ERP project in one of the Singaporean company. At that time, it was quite a sizable projects, and so we but after that project, we didn't really spend a lot of effort. I just maintained one headcount in Singapore, so didn't really do much. But it's only in about I think in about 5 or 6 years ago, when one of my Iranian staff in Malaysia, he volunteered to sort of to be relocated to Singapore. So this Iranian staff of mine, he is an expert in SharePoint and digital workflow. So because because he volunteered, so I sent him to Singapore, and then he's able to bring this SharePoint services to some of these Singaporean clients quite well. So in the last 3-4 years, he's able to build up that good clientele with some of the major some of these government service company like National Gallery of Singapore, National Environmental Agencies, and some of these NGOs. So we were able to help them to build some good apps from SharePoint and from Nintex. So because of that, we also gained recognition from this company called Nintex. We were awarded I think the Asia Pacific Partner of Nintex 2 or 3 years in consecutive. So because of that, I think, because basically, this business is all about expertise. It is not about me, but it's because of the guy that we have. They are really expert, and they are able to do a good job for the clients, and
Yep.
and sort of continue to gain the trust of the clients to work with us.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I hear that coming up a few times. So you talk about team development, people retention, making sure they have a career path and all that. So obviously leadership is very important. So tell me, how do you attract people to join SRKK, and then how do you keep them?
Well, selling is quite easy, I guess, but being real with them, I think, is more difficult, because when they join you, if you're not real, then they will be gone. As you know, people join the company because of vision, but left because of the managers.
Yeah.
So if you are not real, then very soon they will be out from your side. So what I guess what the recipe, I guess, is quite simple. Just be real, be transparent, and build the deep trust between the staff and ourselves. Yeah. Okay. And I guess something that I do all the time is practicing this thing called the buck stops here. Yeah. So if ever there's a problem that comes to me, I will always find a way to resolve, rather than sort of point here and point there. Yeah. So always make sure the buck stops here, and I always see my role as a de-hassling role, rather than trying to do magics. So yeah.
Sorry, as a what role?
De-hassling. So I always try to de-hassle, and enable people to be better. Yeah, rather than trying to make magics. Yeah.
Okay, so removing barriers and obstacles from people's path of generating or achieving results. Making life easier, giving them the necessary tools, creating the environment for them that's conducive, and so on.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you hire the right people, they will be motivated themselves. They don't need you to motivate them. Yes. But they don't need you to give them a lot of problems or give them a lot of hassle, to do what they want to do. So your job, or my job, become the key guy to help de-hassle all the obstacles along the way.
Yeah. I like the word de-hassle.
Well, this is the words in
people call empowering, empowering your team. You take out the hassles from their day-to-day job, so they have less friction, less barriers.
Yeah. Okay. I think this word I get it from ScalingUp. So
okay.
I'm a big copier, so nothing original from me.
It's okay. You copy what works. That's important. Yeah. Okay. So what I get is your leadership style is very authentic and also being very responsible. Like you say, your motto is the buck stops here. Yeah. So you don't walk away from problems and just push them away or defer them. You tackle them and you say, okay, this needs to be solved. Let's see how we're going to solve it.
Yeah. And we also, over time, we also built a career path, a very clear career path of how a person can join us as an intern to become developers or engineers, to become consultants, and even at the end to become profit sharing partners. So we have a very clear, defined career path in the company, from intern to developers or engineers to consultant to profit sharing partners. Okay. So and they do not just see the path, but they also see that, what it takes to grow from one level to the next, as in, what do they have to achieve, what books do they need to read, what course do they need to attend. So I have a table that's very clearly defined, these different career path and what they need to do in order to become a profit sharing partners.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
and
sounds like you have a well-defined, structured career path program or whatever you call it, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, very engineering.
I'm a engineer by training, though I don't
Yes,
do a
yes.
lot of engineering work, but still very much an engineer at heart. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing, Lip Sin, is you probably spend quite a big chunk of your time on people, on your team, on leading your team and making sure that they gel well as a team, right?
Yeah, I think I spend all my time there because, like I told you, I don't do sales, I don't do technical, I don't know what else I do if I don't do this. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I remember Action Coach. You teach us on the business and in the business. I take that very seriously.
Yes, yes.
I decided to not be in the business, but to be on the business. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And also I talked about the virtuous cycle of business, no?
Mm.
And the virtuous cycle being, I mean, this is now being preached by Jack Ma and Richard Branson and all that.
Mm.
So basically, it says as the owner of the business, your focus should be to build a team. Because once you build a team, the team will build the customers, bring the customers, and bring better customers, and get customers to bring other customers.
Mm.
The customers will lead to more business, and then the business will reward you,
Yep.
So the first focus, your first primary objective is really to build a team rather than worry about the customers or stakeholders or shareholders and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was so when people ask me what is my objective, or the company objective, I always tell people that my first objective is to make sure the people do well. The second objective is then the customer is taken care of, then the business will come. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you make sure that the performance standards are there, and at the same time, so you're setting up obviously stretch goals and targets for your team
all the time,
and empowering them.
Yeah.
But how do you make sure that the loyalty is there and they work and perform without being sort of stressed out or what do you call burnt out or whatever?
Yeah. So I guess I'm thankful that I have a team of very dedicated this what you call
Middle
it?
management.
Well, yeah, my next layer, my next liner.
C-level.
Yeah, my C-level, my directors. Yeah, so I have a team of about 11 in the leadership teams, and so this team of 11 people has been with me for like 10, 20 years. So we work together very well, and yeah, so I because I don't do all this operation work, so I basically these 10, 11 people will do all this execution on behalf of me. So what I do is basically just to dream, and then just to make sure what I dream is communicated, and then it is being seen through in the execution.
Okay, sounds easy, but I'm sure it's not.
Well, it's not really easy. You're right. Actually, it takes a lot of stamina to coach and to see through things. Because as much when you dream, it sounds like it looks like so easy. But actually, when you're trying to communicate to people, people cannot see what you see, and so it takes a lot of effort and communication. Breath to help people understand what is your thought.
Okay, all right. So before we open up for questions from the participants, any one or two words of advice for people who are aspiring to grow their business and scale up and all that?
Well, my advice actually, I always think that reading books and learning from all these big gurus will benefit all businessmen a hell of a lot lah. So having that kind of self-motivation to go and learn from all these big guru will be a big success factor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
All
think.
right. Other than Vern Harnish, any other authors you would recommend?
Jim Collins is very good.
Yes.
Yeah, now actually this year, so in the last few years, I have been choosing a book as a book read, as a yearbook for the company. So like this year, it is this two books by Jim Collins, Great by Choice and Good to Great. Last year, I get everybody to read Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. And yeah, the year before, I think it was ScalingUp or something. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, in the last 3-4 years, I've been choosing books to get all my guys to read. And I think having that kind of exercise actually helped to raise the awareness of strategy thinking in the company.
Yep. Great. That creates a certain learning culture as well, huh?
Very much.
And,
yes.
And then everyone is talking the same language because you're using the same resource, the same material.
Yes, okay. Absolutely. That's what. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I really appreciate when I learn from this action coach all this same lingo thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks a lot for your inputs.
Thank you.
Zin.
Yeah.
And we're now going to go to the Q&A part.